ISTPs, considered to be the virtuosos of the personality types, are certainly unique. But the question that I am here to answer today is how compatible they are when paired with the dastardly masterminds that are INTJs. Hello everyone, my name is Joseph, and today I'm going to be breaking down these two personality types to see just how compatible they are using my compatibility meter, of which I'm still waiting for the patent to come through on, dang it. In any case, let's get this case study started by first hitting that like button and then smashing that subscribe button so you never miss one of my future videos. Otherwise, let's get to it. As always, the easiest way to compare two things is by breaking them down to their very basic elements, which for personality types are the cognitive functions and the cognitive function stack. Starting off for ISTPs is their cognitive function of introverted thinking, which focuses on complex systems and models in their own minds. Introverted thinking is capable of looking at an object or a process and replicating it to a very high degree of exactness. This in particular can make ISTPs very particular about their life, and they utilize exactness in all aspects of it. They can develop new ideas and new systems, but they're always going to be comparing what they know versus what is in front of them, constantly comparing those new situations and new things to see what is the optimization. They will develop new ideas and new systems internally as they start to compare their existing ideas to new problems that come at them. When we compare this to INTJs though, we find our first point of contention. Very simply, INTJs lead with introverted intuition. While both of these are introverted functions, they operate very differently. As INTJs, we prefer to stay in our own minds and focus on our problems and everything in there. Information we get from the rest of the world comes into our minds and then gets processed in the back of our mind. And suddenly, as things start to click together and the light bulb comes on, we get our aha moments. Moving down to the second function for ISTPs, we have extroverted sensing, which being higher on the cognitive function stack than it is for INTJs, with it occupying the very bottom slot for INTJs, means that they are more adept at using extroverted sensing. Simply put, ISTPs are more grounded in the world around them. They are more likely to keep up with trends, and they are more likely to pay attention to the world around them. This close link to introverted thinking means that they are going to be able to develop their internal systems with an even greater real-world application. Essentially, they can look at something just once and be able to replicate it to a frightening degree of exactness. When we contrast this with INTJ's extroverted thinking, we hit some unique problems. Extroverted thinking will absolutely wreck ISTP's introverted thinking, as TE is more about looking and simplifying processes and trying to find the easiest routes through things. While the ISTP will come up with their systems faster, the INTJ will challenge those systems with trying to simplify them constantly. Depending on the individual, this can either be an exhilarating exchange of ideas, or for the ISTP, it can just be an aggravation as they are constantly having to examine their own mental models and how they are looking at the world around them. Moving down to the third function for ISTPs, we finally find introverted intuition. Having already discussed this function for INTJs, the unique factor for ISTPs is that with it being so low down here on the cognitive function stack, it is very unlikely to be how they actually perceive the world around them, as their other two cognitive functions above it are going to very easily override this one. Yes, they will get some of those clever aha moments from time to time, and in some small way it may help them relate with INTJs, but it's not going to be at the expense of their SE or their TI. For INTJs, the third slot belongs to introverted feeling, which oddly enough comes up before ISTP's feeling function. This really just equates to INTJ's feelings being just ever so slightly more dominant than ISTPs. Slightly. Though keep in mind those feelings are going to be focused internally and more on how things affect the INTJ than on how things affect other people. As for the bottom of the cognitive function stack, for ISTPs we have extroverted feeling, which means that they are going to be more focused on the emotions of other people around them than their own. However, being this low on the cognitive function stack means that they can very easily miss out on cues in their environment around them. This could actually be leveraged by the higher SE function of the ISTP, but it probably won't play well with the INTJ's FI, as any concern shown by the ISTP to the INTJ could come off the wrong way, as, let's face it, INTJs, we are pretty fiercely independent people. For INTJs, we have extrovert sensing at the very bottom, which, yes, it's the second function shared by the two personality types, but being down this low means that it's not going to help very much. Yes, they will relate a little, but for INTJs, having SE this low means that they are not going to focus nearly as much on the real world around them as ISTPs do. However, the ISTP could help the INTJ to develop their SE and thereby becoming a really powerful force to be reckoned with. At the end of the day, the pairing of ISTP and INTJ is an oddity for sure. Though they share two cognitive functions in common, the placement of them makes them relate in different ways. The strength of this pairing is by far in the intellectual side, as their TE and TI exchanges off of each other. Neither type is super focused on the emotional side, which would make a romantic relationship happen, but I don't want to rule it out because romantic relationships can spring up just from the intellectual side. For INTJs, the downside would come in the higher energy levels of the ISTP and the annoyance that springs from that. For the ISTPs, it is the constant challenge to their systems and trying to be simplified by the INTJ. When both of these types though hit their groove on the intellectual side, just watch out. With all that said, I give this pairing my compatibility meter rating of comfortable. Hey, thanks for watching. If you agree with me or disagree with me, if you think I missed something, let me know. Drop your comment in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to stay cool and have fun. See you next time.